They can take your job. They can take your money. They can take your reputation, your status, and the people you thought were your friends. They can take the roof from over your head and the ground from under your feet. The world, in its infinite and often brutal indifference, can strip you of everything you have ever built, everything you have ever owned. It can leave you with nothing. But there is one thing, one sacred, final territory that no army can conquer, no tyrant can seize, no circumstance can ever touch. There's one freedom so absolute, so fundamental, that it is the very essence of your soul, and in the heart of your darkest hour, in the depths of your greatest loss. It is this one, single, untouchable freedom that will determine whether you are broken or whether you become unbreakable. This is the freedom to choose your response. Between what happens to you and how you react to it, there is a space, a sacred, silent space. In that space lies your power. In that space lies your growth. In that space lies your entire destiny. And it is the last of the human freedoms. Most of the world lives as a slave to stimulus. An unkind word is met with anger. A setback is met with despair. A failure is met with surrender. They are a chemical reaction, a nerve ending, a billiard ball ricocheting aimlessly across the table of life, completely at the mercy of external forces. They have given away their one true power without even knowing they possessed it. But you are not most people. You are here now because a part of you knows this truth, that you are not a reaction but creator, that your life is not what happens to you, but what you choose to do with what happens to you. This is the birth of all power. It is the beginning of the end of victimhood. The great psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl witnessed this truth in the most hellish conditions imaginable. In the concentration camps, he saw men stripped of everything that makes a life, their homes, their families, their names, their very dignity. They were subjected to unimaginable suffering, a world designed not just to break the body, but to extinguish the human spirit. And many were extinguished, but not all. Frankl saw men walking to their deaths who would share their last pathetic crust of bread with a comrade. He saw men who would comfort others, who would offer a kind word in the face of absolute horror. He saw that even when stripped of all earthly possessions, a man could still choose to be courageous, to be compassionate, to be dignified. He realized that what the guards could not take from them was their final freedom, the freedom to choose their own attitude in any given set of circumstances. They could not control the suffering, but they could control how they responded to that suffering. They could choose to find meaning in it. And in that choice, they found a power that transcended the barbed wire and the gas chambers. They found a purpose that no external force could destroy. They proved that the human spirit, when aligned with a purpose, when exercising its final freedom, is an unbreakable force. This is a challenge presented to you every single day. The world will present you with its stimulus, the unfair criticism from your boss, the unexpected bill in the mail, the betrayal of a friend, the failure of a project you poured your heart into. These are your concentration camps. These are the moments that test the quality of your soul. And in that sacred space between the event and your response, you have a choice. You can react like an animal with blind, conditioned anger or despair. Or you can respond like an architect, like a creator, like a sovereign being. You can pause, you can breathe, and you can consciously choose a response that is in alignment with the person you intend to become. You can choose to see the criticism not as an insult, but as a lesson. You can choose to see the unexpected bill not as a disaster, but as a challenge to become more resourceful. You can choose to see the failure not as a verdict, but as a redirection. This is not about pretending that pain does not exist. It is not about positive thinking. It is about something far more powerful. It is about finding meaning. It is about the alchemy of the human will, the power to take the raw, brutal lead of your suffering and transmute it into the gold of your own growth. But how? How does one perform this alchemy? How does one stand in the fire of their own personal hell and not be consumed by it? You do it by finding a reason, a why. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, whose words Viktor Frankl clung to in the darkness, wrote, "He was a why to live who can bear almost any how." This is the secret. This is the anchor in the hurricane of life. Your why is your purpose. It is the great work you have yet to create. It is the great love you have yet to give. It is the person you have yet to become. And it is a discovery and creation of this purpose that transforms suffering from a meaningless torment into a noble trial. A life without a why is a life adrift. It is a life where every setback is a tragedy, every obstacle is a wall, every pain is a punishment. But a life with a why is a life with a compass. The storm may rage, the ship may be battered, but the compass always points north. The journey has a direction, and because it has a direction, it has a meaning. Consider Frankl himself. In the freezing darkness of the camp, on the verge of giving up, his body broken, his spirit close to extinguished, what did he do? He performed a miracle of the human will. He exercised his final freedom. He detached himself from the horrifying reality of the present moment, and in his mind, he projected himself into the future. He saw himself vividly, standing on the stage of a great lecture hall. The room was warm, brightly lit. He saw the faces of his students, eager and attentive, and he heard his own voice, calm and clear, giving a lecture on the psychology of the concentration camp. He was taking his current suffering, and in his imagination, he was transforming it into a lesson for the future. He was giving it a meaning. This act of imagination was not an escape. It was a lifeline. It was the most powerful act of creation possible. In that moment, he was not a prisoner. He was a teacher. He was not a victim. He was a scientist of the soul, gathering data from the depths of hell to bring back to the world. That vision, that why, gave him the strength to endure the how. It gave him a reason to survive one more day, one more hour, one more breath. This is the power that is available to you right now. What is your lecture hall? What is the future vision that can give meaning to your present struggles? The difficult job is not a prison. It is a training ground for the skills you will need to build your empire. The painful breakup is not the end of your story. It is the brutal but necessary lesson that will prepare you for a love you cannot yet imagine. The failure that has brought you to your knees is not a verdict. It is your origin story. It is the first chapter of the legend of your comeback. You must create this vision. You must hold it in your mind with such clarity and such passion that it becomes more real than your present circumstances. This vision is the source of your resilience. It is the fuel for your discipline. Because your purpose is not a passive thought. It must be lived. It must be expressed in your actions. Every single day, you are faced with 1,000 small choices. The choice to get up or to hit the snooze button. The choice to face a difficult task or to retreat into distraction. The choice to be kind or to be cynical. Each of these choices is a vote. A vote for the person you are or a vote for the person you are becoming. The person living with a purpose understands this. They understand that their actions are not just tasks to be completed. They are affirmations of their why. The discipline to work out when you are tired is not about your body. It is a declaration that you are building the strength to carry out your mission. The discipline to study when you could be entertained is not about the knowledge itself. It is a statement that you are forging the mind of the Creator. Each small, difficult, and meaningful action is a prayer in the language of deeds. And it is this prayer that builds the unbreakable human spirit. And in this way, you build a life of meaning, not in one grand, heroic gesture, but in 1,000 small, invisible moments of courage, in the quiet, daily discipline of choosing the meaningful path over the easy one. You are no longer waiting for your life to have a purpose. You are infusing your life with purpose with every single choice you make. This, then, is the final equation of power. The world may control the how of your life. It can dictate your circumstances. It can present you with unimaginable challenges. It can inflict upon you a pain that you did not choose. But you, and only you, control the why. You are the sole author of the meaning of your own existence. They can command your body, but they cannot command your spirit. They can imprison your circumstances, but they can never, ever touch your final freedom. And this freedom is not a passive state of being. It is an active creative force. It is the power that resides in you, right now, to decide what this next moment will be about. So look at your life. Look at the challenges that stand before you like mountains. Look at the pain that you have been trying to run from. Look at the future that seems uncertain and filled with chaos. And now, Understand that these are not your enemies. They are your raw materials. They are the stone from which you will carve your masterpiece. The great work of your life is not to avoid suffering, but to find meaning in it. So ask yourself, what is the work that is calling to you? What is the creation that is waiting to be born through you? Who is the person that needs the love you are capable of giving? And what is the unavoidable suffering in your life that you can choose to face right now with dignity, with courage, and with purpose? The answer to these questions is the meaning of your life. It is not a secret to be found. It is a choice to be made. The world is full of noise, of distractions, of people who will try to tell you that your life is about the pursuit of comfort, of pleasure, of power. But the deepest part of your soul knows the truth. Your life is a search for meaning. That is the journey. That is the great adventure. And it begins the moment you decide to stop being a passive spectator of your circumstances and start being the active creator of your response. The past does not define you. Your pain does not define you. Your circumstances do not define you. The only thing that defines you is a choice you make in the sacred, silent space between what happens and what you do next. That is your freedom. It is your power. It is your gift. And no one can ever take it from you.